What's going down, everybody? This is your boy, Big Drewski, and welcome to Space Bucket Growing with Drewski once again. All right, everybody, so tonight's episode is titled Super Cropping Gone Totally Wrong. So last night, early this morning, I decided to pull out my old trusty technique book, aka GrowWeedEasy.com, and I wanted to learn about super cropping and low stress training and things of that nature. So, reading along, it was saying to slightly squeeze your cola until it gets nice and soft, and then it should just be able to bend over. So as I'm squeezing and I'm gently rubbing my cola about, 5 nodes up, so I got the new fresh growth coming, and I just wanted to squeeze and lightly rub the cola in between my fingers and make it soft, so it'll just kind of bend over on its own, and then it'll heal itself and it'll grow that way, so I can get some more light to the inside of the plant and make things happen that way. Yeah, that didn't happen. The whole thing just snapped right off. And I'm talking about when I say snapped off, it totally just pow, bent the whole thing. It was hanging by one string of skin, like an old scab when it falls off. It was just hanging there, not doing nothing. So I was like, oh no. So I grabbed my Fiskars and I cut it and I threw the whole thing in a glass of water under some light, and I panicked. And I'm like, oh God, what do I do? I don't know what's going on. So I just kind of left it alone. I removed my spacers and I put my lights towards it and turned everything off like I was going to go to bed anyways, because it was about that time to turn off the lights. So that happened. So I wake up this morning, I look at the plant, nothing else has really happened to it. It's still sitting just the way it is, with the whole top piece kind of missing now. All that new growth, that new picture I just showed you guys with the nice top, full canopy of leaves and everything like that, the whole thing's gone now. The whole thing's just inner leaves, 2 sets of fan leaves, and a broke cola right down the middle. Yeah, I'm freaking out because the plant's a month and a few days old, almost like a month and a week. I'm freaking out because I totally just kind of messed up this whole thing. But from what I understand, Canada's plants are pretty much like the soldiers of plants. So we're just going to keep it on its light schedule. Right now it's on 18.6. So in 2 more hours, I'm going to turn off the lights once again. I'm probably going to feed it tomorrow, depending on the soil and how moist it is and everything like that. I'll check that in the morning, and we're just going to go from there. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, from what I've read on Grow Weed Easy and I Love Growing, is that new or the existing kind of 2 nodes that are growing up from over the fan leaves should grow into new colas. And instead of having 1 main cola, it should break off and fix itself into 2 colas, and then I'll switch it into flower in the next 2 weeks to a month. I'm going to see how much vegetative growth I can get out of that, putting it on an 18.6 schedule, redoing my watering, adding nutrients such as Super Thrive, and I'm going to pick up some Fox Farms, and we're going to go from there and see how this build is. So on Super Cropping Gone Wrong, we've learned a valuable mistake. If things ain't broke, don't try to fix them, aka just leave your plants alone. Or if you're going to get into LST, low stress training or anything like that, do it when your cannabis plant is very, very young, kind of in the seedling stage where it hasn't gotten enough vegetative growth on there, or new fan leaves and things like that, to where you can slightly bend it, secure it, and it'll grow that way, and you can nurture it to where you want it to grow and how you want it to grow, and that way you can get the max production out of that. So that's my plans for Bucket 3.0, which is in process of being built. As you've seen on Instagram, if you're following me on Instagram at the What Are We Doing _podcast, you can also see that we are in the midst of building Bucket 3.0 right now. And in building Bucket 3.0, what we're going to do is we've taken 6 white 5-gallon buckets provided to us by our sponsor, Lotus Eater Organics. We're getting those in. We're going to cut 2 of those buckets to be a spacer, because we do have 6 feet or 2 meters of 50-50. Sorry about that, y'all, but we get notifications on the reel. We're going to get that 50-50 light strip. It's a 4-to-1 ratio, so 4 red, 1 blue LED. We're going to make that spacer in. We're going to line it with foil tape. We're also going to fill the inner pot with a 3-gallon smart pot and 2 intake fans, or 1 intake and 1 exhaust fan, because the fans I got this time are a little bit bigger than the ones I'm using on Bucket 2.0/2.5. And in doing that, I think we're going to get a different design. And we're also going to get a different grow out of this, because this next bucket's going to be all LED. We've also been provided with a 135 watt UFO that we're going to test and log some extreme hours on. We're going to push this thing to the total limit. I want to get a from seed grow out of it. So what we're going to do is, with that Bucket 3.0, this one's going to be all LED. I'm not going to use this side spacer LEDs until we get at least 3 to 4 nodes in length of growth, going straight up from the soil. And then what we're going to do from there is we're going to then turn on the spacer LEDs, so that way we can get the side lighting in, and it'll be engulfed in light. So that's going to be our next cannabis grow there. That's pretty much the updates on that, you guys. Remember, super cropping gone wrong. Read, and gain experience as well. For me, I am a noob grower, and so this has taught me a very, very valuable lesson in what to do when you're messing with your cannabis plant and you have no clue of what you're doing. This is going to get you your experience, because you're going to have to be hands-on and, get the grow in yourself. But yeah, y'all. Okay, I'm back. All right, y'all. So remember, super cropping gone wrong. Mine ended up in the whole top of my plant being destroyed. And now I have to wait again and see what this new vegetative growth is going to provide me with. And hopefully I get 2 colas instead of 1 out of this, because that'll be dope. That means double the amount of cannabis that I'll be growing inside my space bucket. We're also building Bucket 3.0 at the moment. We've got the shopping list in: 3-gallon smart pots, foil tape, 5-gallon buckets, 50-50 LED light strip, intake and exhaust fans, and and a couple of small things that you're going to need. We've got seeds. We've got donor seeds waiting. We're going to get some organic soil, and then we're going to go straight from there. So by the end of this next month coming up, that next bucket should be fully built, provided our UFO is on the way, our 50 LEDs are on the way, and then we're just waiting on confirmation of the 5-gallon smart pots, or the 3-gallon smart pots, and the foil tape. All of those were purchased from eBay, so, we're just waiting on shipping dates. That's all that is, folks. So, everybody, you guys can follow me on Instagram at whatarewedoing_podcast. You can also follow us on Instagram at ElevatedLifestyleLV. Also, check out our sponsor at Mostly Safe 8. That's Rain Man Space Bucket Micro Grows. You can find them on Etsy as well with their pro-built space buckets. And you can see how they've inspired me to keep going on my space bucket builds, and hopefully one day I get the build big enough to provide for you guys. So once again, follow our sponsors at Lotus Eater Organics, at Mostly Safe 8. That's Rain Man Space Bucket Micro Grows. You can also find us on Instagram. And that's it, y'all. Hopefully I see y'all tomorrow at a later time, and I'll let you guys know the progress of Bucket 2.5 and the bag seat grow.